Hi everybody and welcome to the Mortgage Cupcake. I'm Jeff Brock and this is Diane Gertis. And we're here today to discuss the short sale.
Yes, the wonderful world of short sales. And that's the world that we are in now in the real estate market. Short sales are, a year ago we probably rarely heard of them. Now short sales are, this is what our world is and this is what it's going to be. First, what is a short sale? Jeff?
A short sale is where the lender accepts a short payoff on the property. They're going to let you sell it short of what you owe on it. The reason somebody may want to do that would be you're upside down on the house, you have to move, you got relocated, and you owe more than your house is worth. So you go to your lender and you're going to ask them to accept a short payoff where you're not going to make a dollar as the seller of the property, but the lender is going to take less to get you out, and it won't affect your credit as a foreclosure.
So if I have let's say I have a first, but then I went and got a second. So I have a first and a second. I owe $300,000, but the house is only worth $100,000. That's what they're going to allow me to sell it for short?
Well, possibly. But one thing to remember: the first and the second have to agree, and everything has to be disclosed. Because when it comes to short sales, disclosure is key, and the other thing is patience.
So how do you start?
Well, that's a good question. I would recommend getting a very experienced realtor that has experience in working with short sales, because they're kind of a breed of their own. So the first thing would be to select a realtor, and the second thing is to contact the bank, let them know you're going to be doing a short sale, whether it's you that does this or whether it's your realtor. If it's your realtor, be prepared to sign an authorization form to have your realtor speak on your behalf with the bank. But that's the first step, to make them aware of it. They'll send you a packet. They'll ask for all your financials. You need to have a reason for doing it. What kind of hardship are you going through? That's the kind of thing you need to do to start off.
So how long does this take?
Well, that's a good question, because it's called a short sale. Don't let that deceive you, because it may perhaps should be called a long sale.
Isn't that what you usually say? It's really a long sale?
That's what I usually say, but I don't mean to put a negative spin on it. You just got to be prepared. It's not for everybody. So how long do they usually take? Usually 30 to 90 days. 30 to 60 days usually before you'll even get your offer approved by the bank.
And the times have come down quite a bit from what they used to be. When we were doing this, like the last half of last year, they were taking up to 6 months to get approved. But the short sales, as far as the lenders, what it is that the banks actually have to agree to it. So Jeff, if I make an offer and you own the house and I make an offer for $125,000,
I'll take it. I'll take it now, because I'm not making any money anyway, and I want to get out from my house. I'll take your offer right now. A lot of people think that's when the ball starts, but the clock doesn't actually start ticking until that offer goes to the bank, so that the bank can approve the offer. That's the part you're waiting on. And be prepared for the verbal acceptance. That's where the bank says, hey, we'll take the offer, let's do it. Well, that's not good enough. It's got to be in writing. You've got to wait.
Why does it have to be in writing? I don't understand. Tell me why. Why would these banks tell you they're approved and then...
Because those mortgage companies make you wait for that written acceptance. They won't start the appraisal. They won't start the loan process. They won't even lock your rate.
But if they tell you that it's approved, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, the real reason why we have to wait for the written approval is because that approval is what shows the seller's going to be netting on the house. It shows the commissions the realtors are going to be paying.
You mean the mortgage company, what the lenders are going to be
It shows what the lenders are going to be netting on the house. The seller's not going to net anything. But this is important because a lot of times they might be covering closing costs, which they will occasionally do, even though they say they won't. And you got to know how much the lender's netting. Make sure there's enough room for the closing costs and the commissions. You don't want to get down to the wire and be disappointed.
Yeah, we had one example that came across. Everybody was doing a happy dance because the short sale was approved. It was for $175 was the sales price. Well, we got the written approval over, and they approved netting $175. What are we going to do about the commissions and closing costs? I mean, the seller's closing costs. Didn't care. $175. Of course, it blew up, and the house went into foreclosure. But no two short sales are alike. Every short sale is different. Nothing's cookie cutter, because there are so many banks with their own separate set of criteria. There is no way to really give you anyone direction on how a short sale is actually, what the outcome is going to be. Now, we've kind of went over real quick what would happen on the seller's side, but let's talk about the buyer's side. So Jeff, I'm a buyer. Okay, I've got my kids, I got my dogs, got my partner out in the van, and we need to move into a house. Should I get a short sale?
Well, that's a good point, Diane, because it takes a certain type of person in a certain situation to go after a short sale. If you've got the family and everybody packed up in a moving van and your lease is up, probably don't want to be looking for a short sale. If you're an investor and you've got a lot of time on your hands, or you just have a lot of time on your hands, period, you can afford to wait, it may be worth it. We're not trying to put a negative spin on short sales. You can get some great deals out there, some amazing deals, but be prepared and have patience.
And you use the word about people that get emotionally involved in their houses. You want to kind of go over?
If you're like me and you mentally move in before the closing day, you know what's going to go in every room of the house, furniture's picked out, you may not want to do a short sale because you're waiting 30 or 60 days to see if your offer is approved, and there's a chance that it may not get approved, or they might come back with different terms than they've verbally agreed to. These are all things you got to be prepared for, and for the wrong buyer, this could make or break the deal. I mean, you could get to the point where you're not even interested in purchasing a house by the time it's through, but not if you're educated.
So that's what we tried to do today, is to educate you on the short sale. And what's the magic word for short sales?
Patience and disclosure.
Patience and disclosure. This is a Mortgage Cupcake. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.